to go ahead and grab her. Okay. Carla the School Fairy. This is the first book, The Spelling Bee. Competition countdown. Rachel Walker walked over to the large doors of Tippington Town Hall and peered outside. Buses were pulling up and there were lots of people milling around. So far, there was no sign of the very special person she was looking for, her best friend, Christy Tate. Rachel's school was taking part in an exciting competition. 4 schools from different parts of the country were competing in 2 different events. A spelling bee was to be held today at the Tippington Town Hall, and a science contest was to take place at the Science Museum tomorrow. At the end of the week, there would be a dance at Rachel's school. Rachel was part of the Tippington School Spelling Bee team, but the most exciting thing was that Christy's school, Weatherbury, was also taking part in the competition. Christy was a member of the science team, and this meant that she was coming to Tippington. Rachel, over here, called Christy. Rachel turned around and there was Christy. She was standing with 3 other children and a friendly-looking teacher. There you are. I was wondering when you'd get there, said Rachel, running over to Christy and giving her a big hug. Rachel and Christy were the very best of friends, and magical things happened whenever they were together. They had met on vacation at Rainbow Island, and since then they had enjoyed lots of amazing adventures with the Rainbow Magic Fairies. Jack Frost, an icy creature who also lived in Fairyland, was always causing trouble for the fairies. But the girls were always there to outsmart him and his silly goblins. We came in through the side entrance, said Christy with a smile. This is my teacher, Mrs. Richards, and this is my Weatherbury science team. Just then, an awful-looking man in a nice suit appeared on the stairs leading up to the auditorium. Attention, please, everyone. I am your spellmaster for today's competition. Will the four teams taking part in the competition please make their way to the backstage area? Members of the audience should take their seats in the auditorium. Ooh, not long to go now. Christy smiled, linking arms with Rachel. Are you nervous? A little bit, admitted Rachel. But I've been practicing my spelling as much as I can. Come and say hello to my team. They're just over here. Okay, and actually these special edition have letters. So my first letter I found is T. How does a spelling bee competition work? Asked Christy once she'd been introduced to Adam, Amina, and Allie, the rest of the Tippington school team. Amina explained to Christy that the spelling bee was divided into 2 parts. First, there's a spelling playoff where the teams take turns to spell a word, she said. Then it's the quick-fire challenge when they have to spell as many words as they can in 2 minutes. of points wins. Wow, it sounds very exciting, said Christy with a big smile. The four spelling bee teams started to make their way to the backstage area. I'll join you in a minute, Rachel called to her team. I'm just going to walk Christy to her seat. The girls split off from the main group of students and teachers in the hall and made their way toward a side entrance. As they walked along, something in one of the trophy cabinets caught Christy's eye. Rachel, what is that? She asked, stepping closer. It's just the light shining on the Tippington and Bloom cup, isn't it? Replied Rachel, still walking toward the auditorium. I think it's something even more special than that, whispered Christy happily, tugging on Rachel's arm. What Rachel saw made her stop suddenly, because there, sitting on the edge of a shiny trophy surrounded by a magical glow, was a beautiful little fairy. Rachel and Christy looked at each other with excitement. Another fairy adventure was starting. Okay, we're on the next chapter. Let's continue. Goblin Thieves. The tiny fairy flew toward the glass door of the cabinet. Rachel and Christy gasped, worried that she might fly into the glass, but at the last moment, she magically appeared in front of the girls. Hello, the fairy cried, flying a loop-the-loop in the air. I'm Carla, the school fairy. It's so nice to meet you both at last. Carla had olive skin and dark hair with blunt bangs. Her eyes sparkled behind cool glasses. And what I like to do when they say like the fairy wears a pink outfit, I like to go to the front cover and actually see if that's what they're wearing. So that's what I'm going to do. She wore a red dress with a bright yellow scarf and a white top and 2-ton offered shoes. Okay. Yep, that's really what she's wearing. It's lovely to meet you too, Carla. Christy smiled. Quick, let's hide behind this cabinet before someone spots you. The girls and Carla moved behind the large cabinet. It's always nice to meet a new fairy friend, said Rachel, giving the tiny fairy a careful hug. But why are you here? Is everything okay in fairyland? Carla sighed and her sparkly wings dropped. Oh dear, something dreadful has happened and you're really the only ones who can help me. Rachel and Christy exchanged a worried glance. We'll do our very best to help, said Christy. Please tell us what's going wrong. I think it's easier if I show you, said Carla. She hovered in front of the glass door of the cabinet. She waved her wand and the surface of the glass started to ripple. The girls knew that Carla was creating a seeing pool, a magical pool that could show events that had happened in fairyland. Carla turned around to face the girls. You see, I have a very important job. My magic makes sure that everyone, both in fairyland and in your world, enjoys school and learns a lot. Christy and Rachel smiled at Carla. That is such an important job, agreed Rachel. Carla nodded. Everyone has to go to school, even fairy children. My magic objects help me look after the most essential areas of school time. My satchel makes sure that everyone loves words. It helps children read, write, and spell. My safety goggles make sure that science is lots of fun and that experiments are safe. And my glitter ball makes sure that everyone enjoys music and special events, like dances. And those are actually her little objects right over here. And it actually does say something here. The girls looked at the rippling scene pool where pictures were starting to form. It was like looking at a magical TV. Rachel and Christy saw Carla in a classroom polishing tiny wands. Next to the wands were 3 glittering objects: a little blue satchel, a pair of yellow safety goggles, and a super shiny glitter ball. And those are actually her magic objects. A strange noise came from the scene. Splat! There it was again. Carla flew into the classroom next door. The window was open, and in the middle of the room were 2 giant green snowballs. A moldy leaf with a message was stuck on one of the snowballs. And wobbly handwriting, it read, "Ha ha, we tricked you, silly little fairy." "Oh no," exclaimed Rachel. This looks like the work of the goblins." Carla nodded her head sadly. The singing pool showed the poor little fairy fluttering quickly back to her classroom. But everything was in chaos. The wands from the cabinet were scattered everywhere, and desks were piled on top of each other. Worst of all, the 3 magic objects had disappeared. Carla rushed over to the open window and saw 4 goblins just reaching the ground. One of them had the satchel clutched in his hand. Another was wearing the goggles, and the glitter ball was being worn as a medaillon by a 3rd goblin. "Stop, thieves!" cried Carla, and this is actually the picture of them doing what it said. So one of the goblins is wearing it, one of them is, has it on a necklace, and one has the satchel clutched in his hand. Okay, this is going to be the last page, because when you turn it, it's going to be the next chapter. But the goblins made faces at her and ran away into the forest. The singing pool faded. "I don't understand," cried Christy with a frown. "What do the goblins want with your magic objects?" "I don't know," replied Carla, a little tear rolling down her cheek. "But now that they have them, school time everywhere will be in chaos, and it looks like Jack Frost and his goblins are here in Tippington with my magic satchel." "What does that mean?" asked Rachel. Carla took a shaky breath. "It means that the spelling bee will be ruined. The satchel looks after reading, writing, and spelling, and it helps people to concentrate. With the satchel in the hands of the goblins, the whole competition will be a total disaster." I'm on the next chapter, so later I'll read another 2 chapters from the same book. Bye, you guys. Hope you enjoyed this book so far.